So as I walked into Uganda, I got an SMS and it was in my account. It was like 20, 30 minutes later. I've seen a lot of talk online of people being like, don't tell everybody your goals, evil eye. You know what? I don't not believe it. Hello. You're in the frame with me, Julie. Happy New Year. Happy New Decade, if you believe. I didn't realize there was such a debate about whether the new decade starts now or at the end of 2020. I say now, but there's like beef about it on the interwebs. Anyway, welcome. Isn't this fun? We made it. Shout out to us. So around this time last year, I made a vision board. Well, like not a general life vision board, but a travel vision board of places I wanted to go, experiences I wanted to have, talked about saving a little bit, talked about documenting in specific ways. And I thought I would go back, a little Mythbusters, a little does it work, does it not? So I went back and watched mine. You can catch that video here, or I'll link it in the description. It's not that great quality-wise, but you know, it's cute. As far as like a guide on how I've done it, like where I've gotten my pictures and my inspiration and physically what I used, you can go and see that. Cut to 1 year later, I do not know where the physical vision board is. I don't know what happened. We did move a couple months ago, so maybe got lost in the move. I don't know. But you know, it's always in my heart and on the internet. So anyway, yeah, I wanted to just like look back and kind of see, did I in fact manifest all the things that happened in 2019? Most of which was like, it was a really good year for travel. I already know off the bat I didn't travel, I don't want to say as much, as far as I wanted to. I traveled within Kenya majority of the time. And then a couple of trips, three times went out of the country, that's still quite a lot, you know what I mean? And it's not really about that because a lot of the trips within the country have been like some of my best ever. Anyway, we're gonna go through the list of things that I mentioned in this video and we're gonna see, was it overall a successful exercise for manifesting or planning out what I wanted to happen in 2019. Let's go. So, me and my trusty notebook, I wrote out kind of the things I mentioned in the video. This is how 2019 went down. Was there alchemy? Sure, yeah. I'd say that actually. And I'll tell you why I say that after I go through this list. Heritage, in some ways, I mentioned wanting to document more heritage of my own, of course, and also of the places I traveled, but it was more to do with documenting different architecture. So not as much with that, but I think that I always think about heritage when I go somewhere. So yeah, but differently. Savings, nope, don't have any, don't know how. We'll try again this year. Happiness, yeah. It was like a tough year in many ways. My family was going through it, all of us. And also financially, it was just nonsense. But in spite of many things, yeah, I was pretty happy, mostly. Kikulet for Springs, which is like a springs in northern Tanzania. No, but I did go to Moshi in Easter to spend that time with some of my family who lived there. Climbing Kilimanjaro, nope. A month in Tanzania, nope. Zanzibar, nope. Dar es Salaam, nope. Festival fever, I'd say so. I had the best time of my life at Nyege Nyege in September in Uganda. So yay, amazing. Wow, you can catch that video also on my channel. New camera, nope. In fact, the direct opposite because mine died in the middle of said festival. And I'm filming this and everything since then just on my phone. More drawing and writing, yes. Yacht Week internship, nope. Montenegro and the Balkans, nope. So what did happen? What did I actually get out of these things? So as I've said, things like more vague words like alchemy, heritage, happiness, and the festival that, I mean, I would have loved to go to more festivals in the year, but Nyege Nyege was like really a lot. So hopefully I do get more of that this year and in the coming years, I suppose. Let me tell you one thing, which is why I talk about alchemy and shit, right? So in this video, I mentioned Senegal and how I've wanted to go for a long time, and it really just kept calling to me, and it was just like a lot of people anywhere in life, and it kept happening last year too. Uganda, Italy, Mauritius, South Africa, people would see me and be like, are you Senegalese? And that's their first guess. Senegal is this big, that is so specific. So I was like, I should just go and find my birth parents. Just kidding. So I had said in this video, okay, it's time for me to make this happen. Let me go to Senegal this year. Didn't go, still never been, but one insane thing. So in this video, I talk about some specific sites. There's the museum, which was the first president's home, and there's also a town in Senegal called Saint Louis. Like 3 times in this video, I misspoke and I said Port Louis and not Saint Louis, which is the town in Senegal that I was visualizing, that I had pictures of, that I had done a little bit of research on. Okay, whatever, it's fine. It's just I knew what I meant in my mind, didn't I? Didn't I? Well, where is Port Louis, do you ask? Coincidence? I don't know. But I don't know, I mean absolutely not. What you mean? What do you mean? I manifested Mauritius at the beginning of the year. I didn't even know. I didn't even know it. I didn't even know. Shook. So, in case you didn't know, I got flued out on my first ever major international sponsored trip in November 2019 in collaboration with Mauritius Tourism and I Ambassador. I went on this amazing press trip with the 29 other bloggers. We're out there with them for a week, and then I stayed another week to hang out with a friend of mine from university. Yeah. Like, it's just a thing that I stumbled on the internet, and it's something that I applied for, and I was accepted. Not with big numbers, as you can see. There's like 2,000 of us here. Hi, guys. And I appreciate all of you. But it's not the influencer big leagues on any platform, on Instagram, blog, nothing. I don't have those sorts of numbers. But just by virtue, I suppose, of the type of work that I do and everything like that. So, yeah. That's just... And I didn't even realize, I didn't remember any of this until like 2 days ago when I rewatched my vision board video. Whoa. You'll never guess what just happened. I just recorded like 15 minutes of the rest of this segment, and I have to do it again because the camera cut off, the phone cut off. I don't know what happened. Anyway, so we're going to go into what actually did happen in this year, the good, bad, the ugly of 2019. So a lot happened. I actually took quite a lot of little trips. So I kind of just chose like 5 best and 5 worst moments or things or, happenings, whatever. So to start off with best, starting the new year at the beach. I spent end of 2018, start of 2019 in Diani, in south coast of Kenya. I hadn't been to Diani in like 3 or 4 years. It was a really fun trip. I went down by road with my sister and some of her friends, and then they went to stay together, and I went to stay at a backpackers with my friend Cleo. Actually, I think I mentioned Cleo in the vision board. Yes, I mentioned her in the vision board video, and one of those pictures of Dar es Salaam is from her blog, yournextbigtrip.com. I forgot for a second. Cleo lives in Dar. One of my goals for the year was to go to Dar es Salaam and see her. Still haven't done it. We've hung out in Johannesburg and in Nairobi and in Diani. Haven't made it to Dar. Yeah. I'm trash. It's fine. Don't worry. I will make it this year. Cleo, I'm coming. I'm sorry. 2019, the ugly. Oh my God, I was so broke. Wow. Worst year ever for money. Actually, I mean, yeah, just like most inconsistent, I suppose. Yeah. It was a struggle financially. I was generally really broke, even on these really good trips. I think I've become very good at kind of focusing on what I have and being grateful for the things that I do have, and working out ways to like not need money, working out ways to travel super budget and find things to do that are free and all that. So generally, I don't let it get me too down. That being said, I got some very cool work, some very cool writing commissions, a couple of which came to me because somebody had seen my blog and website or my published work somewhere else and emailed me to be like, hey, here's a commission. Do you want to write about this for our magazine or whatever? And on top of the cool commissions, I got paid on time for everything I did, which, listen, if you're a freelancer, you knows that's just not something to take for granted in these streets, because people be chasing year, 2-year, 3-year-old invoices. People have invoice anniversaries because they wait so long to be paid. So I'm not going to say I can't complain, because I can and I will, because I was so broke. But yeah, shout out to everybody who offered me work. More please. And shout out to you for paying on time. Seriously? No, seriously. Seriously, it's a big thing. Another high of the year is spending 2 weeks at Mfangano Island. I think it was June or July. June. I spent 2 weeks at this island in Lake Victoria. I posted a lot about Mfangano Island and in the time I was there and afterwards, but I didn't really say that much about what exactly I was doing there unless you read the blog. So I was able to go and stay there completely free because of a website that I use called Workaway. I've mentioned Workaway in my How to Move Abroad video. This is something I've been using for like 2 years now, to get free accommodation in exchange for doing work for a place, an organization, whatever. But I spent 2 weeks at a permaculture project run by a local family. Basically, I wrote to them and I was like, hey guys, I can take some pictures for you, update your website, and do your social media. Is that something you need right now? And they were like, yes, please come over. And so I got there was me and one other volunteer, Morgan from France, who's a good friend now. Hey girl. And so we stayed at their house, meaning their compound. So we would have meals with them and stuff in the main house, but they had a little kind of house on the outside overlooking the lake. We slept by the sound of the water. This side of Lake Victoria is really like, because it's much more open, sort of ocean-like. There aren't big waves like that, but there are waves. And it looks and sounds like the ocean. Even when you go out swimming, all you see is water. It was really beautiful and amazing. Next high, Nyege Nyege Festival, specifically Uganda in general. In September, I spent almost 2 weeks in Uganda. Yes, I went to Nyege Nyege for the first time. Finally, dude, like, I've been hearing about this thing for like 5 years. Finally, I got to go. I think since it started, I had always been at school in South Africa. And then last year, what happened last year? I think I just had my shit together, so I just didn't make a plan and make it happen, even though I was in Nairobi. So finally I went semi-solo, because like I traveled on my own, but I was with friends while I was there. That vlog is up as well. Yeah, it was just amazing. I didn't even, I just had the best time. The vibe was so lovely. Swam in the flowing river Nile, do you know what I mean? Lost one of my favorite rings trying to get out, almost being swept away, but it was fine in the end. I had a really nice time. It was really wonderful. And then after that, halfway through the festival, not even halfway, like after one night, my voice was completely gone. Not as in like, oh, it was croaky or something. No, like, it wouldn't. It was just awful. It was just like annoying. I took a few days after the festival to recoup. Stayed in Ginger, but just like at a different kind of place. Nile River Explorers, which is a beautiful camp, backpackers, which is very nice. I spent some time chilling, caught up with some work, and then I went on to spend the weekend after that in Kampala, which I loved. Yeah. And then I came back home. One ugly, so I went to the festival by road. Before leaving, I spent like a few days at my grandma's in Western Kenya. So we kind of like took a day, my mom, my aunt, my uncle, and I, and a driver that my mom had gone up with, took the trip to the Uganda border, so they dropped me off, and then they went back. But before they went back, they needed to make sure everything was fine. Some complications had ensued. I didn't have my passport or my yellow fever card with me because I wasn't able to get it out of the house. Long story, maybe I'll talk about it another day. So I had a temporary passport, which is just like, you just go on eCitizen and you like download it and you can use it all around East Africa, completely chilled for like, 3 months. So that was fine, but I didn't have my yellow fever card certificate. And there is no sort of like record or like universal system where they can pull up your records. And so the guy was saying to me, you gotta get the shot again. I don't like unnecessary things and pharmaceuticals in my body. I was like, I don't want to get this injection again. I don't need it. I've had it already. And I didn't have my passport, which has all the stamps of like different countries that wouldn't have allowed me in without it. I couldn't even show that. So here I am on freaking Yahoo Mail, because that's my oldest email address, looking for copies of my South African study permit, because that's like the closest thing I could think of and like the most recent visa I had. Couldn't find it anywhere. I was like, you mean in 5 years of studying in this freaking country and another year of living there? There's no time that I emailed this thing to anyone, put it up on Google Drive, none of it. Couldn't find it. Eventually, I found a copy of the study permit. I don't even know where. I think on my actual computer. I was like there in the office like, because there were no records, and the guy was saying to me, the only place where you can get a copy of your information, or like your yellow fever card is the specific place where you got your shot, which mine was Nairobi Hospital. We're at the freaking Uganda border in Busia. Anyway, it was fine. In the end, which took hours. Also that day, I tweeted this as well. Yahoo Mail was down all day. It has to be that day. In the end, everything was fine. Thank goodness I wasn't like on a public bus or anything like that. And like, my crew waited till everything was fine, just in case just so that I wasn't just like stranded in Busia and not allowed into Uganda. So in the end, it was fine. So I walked into Uganda via the border. Before then, what happened? Yeah, I was also pretty broke. I didn't want to like spend money on this shot. That was the main thing. I was like, I'm not paying $2.5 for an injection that I don't need. What do you mean? And what happened was, once I had crossed into Uganda, I quickly was checking the last emails, and a payment had come through from a client who was paying on time. Look at that. And I was like, okay, great. So it'll probably take like 2 days to process so that it's able to move from the payment platform to my bank account. No, it took like 20 minutes. So as I walked into Uganda, I got an SMS, and it was in my account. It was like 20-30 minutes later. So I immediately just like withdrew really quickly, bought a chapati, the most delicious chapo of my whole life. And then I continued my walk, hopped on a boda. I was still not yet used to the currency conversion, so I definitely paid too much, but it's fine. Make someone's day, it's okay. And then I got my way to Jinja, and it was really like, that was a stressful like hour and a half, but I remember writing down later on in my journal, like, just as I walked into Uganda, this money fell into my account. It didn't fall into my account, I worked for it, but you know. And I remember writing down, like, it was like the universe laughing at me for doubting my grandmother's prayers. Because, you know, it's like before you leave somewhere, before you go on a journey, especially because I was going to be traveling alone, even if I do it all the time, my grandma was like, who do you know that? So she prayed, and she explicitly said something about any obstacles in my way being moved away or whatever. And it was literally like, really? What were you like worrying and like almost crying about when your grandma prayed for you? You know? So in the end, it was all fine. I had the best time in Uganda. I wanted to stay longer, but had to leave earlier than I wanted. So hopefully I can spend an extended time in UG this year. I hadn't been to Uganda in like 10 years, so it was really nice to be there as a semi-adult. Final best travel thing of the year. 2 weeks in Mauritius, dude. Like, wow. It was really an amazing experience. It's a beautiful place. It's like everything you expect is like, wow, it's amazing. I felt really like at home there, do you know what I mean? I remember like in one of my earlier notes in my journal, and also I think I put it in a blog post, like I kind of was expecting or preparing myself to kind of like, once I finally was out of the blogger group and I was just roaming around on my own, it didn't feel like I stood out as much as I thought. Even the majority of people, like, it's a really interesting, fascinating history. So people generally look Indian or they look Creole or mixed race. So I figured it was going to be like, oh, what's this black girl doing here? But no, not really. It wasn't really like that. I think generally, I don't know, people either assumed I was just from there or whatever until I spoke, and they were like, that's some broken ass French, girl, where you from? Yeah, it was rusty. But yeah, I had such a good time. Like, it was definitely very busy and actually like pretty tiring. We had like a lot of deadlines for this campaign. It was a work trip. It was fully a work trip. That's also why like the vlog is kind of in segments, and I didn't actually vlog that much of the whole experience. Anyway, yeah, Mauritius was a vibe. I would love to be back this year. Before I even left, I was looking up flights to go again. One little tiny minor ugly. In my Instagram stories, somebody was like, is there anything you didn't like about Mauritius? No, there was. When I got there, yeah, it was 27 questions at immigration, which was lame. And it's really interesting because like me and the only other black blogger had that experience. I don't need Kenyan citizens don't need a visa, but I did have to show them the usual stuff like return ticket and hotel bookings. Immigration was totally fine. Like, I think that's pretty regular. Once I got to customs, I was randomly selected, had my bag put through the scanner again, and Mans was out here like,
where are you staying? Can I see your return ticket? Did you pay for this ticket?
Because I told them about 1 week I'll be here, 1 week I'll be with a friend in Bobasan, which is the town that my friend lives in. It's like, who's your friend? I'm like, her name's Maria, do you know her? Like, what the fuck kind of question is this? He's really out here like,
did you pay for your ticket?
And I didn't really bring up the whole thing that I was there with the tourism board until later on. I mean, I don't know. I was like chilling. I wasn't really like stressed about it. I was like, I was in a good mood also. So I think I even was like, I think he asked what school we went to. I was like, Nelson Mandela University. Have you seen it? It's beautiful. You know about it? It's a really nice campus. I was really like, come at me, bro. And then I think eventually when he was like, did you pay for this ticket or who paid for the ticket? I said Mauritius Tourism Board. And then that's when he was like, okay. I was like, what was that? That's some bullshit, man. Anyway, so that, and my friend's very aware about these sorts of things. And so like the stuff that we would talk about Mauritius and the things that stood out to her, because she also has like lived all over the place aside from being in uni in SA with me. She was born and raised in West Africa a lot of her life. So she kind of just sees quite a lot of sort of undercover racism and prejudice towards Black Africans. Not towards, but like in the image that Mauritians have of mainland Africa. I suppose because they're so far and removed. It's even like behind Madagascar. Do you know what I mean? There's very much an attitude of like, oh, we're number one in Africa. Do you know what I mean? And sort of like, yeah, I guess I know like technically we're part of Africa, but like Africa's over there and we're over here. Do you know what I mean? And I think I'm sure it's many things. I think it's very much, there's a very strong connection to India and Asia as a whole, but India especially. So I think maybe most people relate more with Asia and being South Asian. I don't really know. I'm sure it's like a whole thing. Yeah, but there was like sort of small things about that. Maybe just because I was talking about it with Maria a lot that I had it in my mind. But yeah, so that's lame. That's always a lame thing. That said, not like a big deal. I wasn't down about it, but it's always in my mind of like the Afrophobia of Africans about other Africans. And it's not at all limited to the islands. Kenyans have attitudes about other Africans and freaking, you know, everybody has attitudes about everybody else. A lot of it, which is just not based on facts. All of this being said, I don't recall having any bad experiences with just like everyday Mauritians, just on the street, on the bus. People were chilling, either just like minding their business, or they were ready to chat and be like, so where are you from? Like I was saying, I got a couple of, are you from Senegal? And I was like, okay, seriously, am I from Senegal? Maybe. People were chill, people were friendly, like upbeat and always joking, which I like. So yeah, I wouldn't say I had any like bad experiences in Mauritius. It was all good. It was all really, yeah. I like it a lot. So that's me. I feel like I am and I will do it differently, sort of like envisioning my 2020 and beyond. So I put down 3 main points. The first thing is, you know, I've seen a lot of talk online of people being like, don't tell everybody your goals, evil eye. Some people are going to be like cursing you. And you know what? I don't not believe it. So I won't be doing the same. I mean, I've done that video already. I feel like that's old news. Maybe I'll do another vision board, maybe not. Maybe I'll just do a digital one and like have a Pinterest board. Next is don't be afraid of detail. I talked about saving. I would like some savings. I feel like that's saying exactly nothing about what you want. Do you know what I mean? I think that it doesn't hurt to like go into detail and really look at like, okay, so what's my probable income and how much would I like to save? What is it that I am saving for? You know, that kind of thing. And I think also with that point of like, what am I saving for? I don't remember where I read. I think it was from Gloria Tamo of the blog Abroad is one of my favorite bloggers for the last like 3-4 years. And she had in her caption something about setting goals and not focusing on the, what was it? Don't focus on the how, focus on the why. Like, why do you want to do this thing, or why do you want to achieve this thing, and why should you be the person to do that? Remembering why is a little bit more of like a driver for you to keep going. And I think even like, if I had asked myself why for every single one of my goals, even with like going to a place, maybe I would have like had some newer ideas or taken some things out. Do you know what I mean? I think it's one of those things that's like, if you were to think for yourself, like, say someone is like, I've always wanted to go to Bali. And that's just what they've had it in their mind for such a long time that it's just like everybody knows I want to go to Bali. But you haven't asked yourself in a while, why do you want to go to Bali? Is it because you're interested in the culture? Is it because it just is one of the first places that you saw really popping off in the gram? Is it because it has a reputation for being good for digital nomads? And if so, can you not do that anywhere else on the planet? Do you know what I mean? And if you don't kind of like interrogate your ideas and your goals and stuff, I feel like there's some things that get left there that are not relevant to you anymore, or that you haven't really thought through, or like you're being influenced by outside things that actually, when you really think about it, you don't want it that much. You just think you do. It's just been projected on you. Do you know what I mean? Not necessarily all the time, but I think it's worth it to look into the why you want something or why you're going after something. Because it'll either motivate you in a time when it'll either motivate you in a time when you feel like you're kind of trailing on the goal, or it'll make you rethink, do I want that? Maybe I didn't ever want it, or maybe I did once and now my life is different, or my mindset is different and I want other things. So yeah, she didn't say all that, but that's just like why my mind took it. I'm gonna go and do some pinning, so remember to follow me on Pinterest. Are you on Team Vision Board? Have you done any sort of like visualizing and goal setting for this year or for last year? Has it worked for you before? Has it not? Please tell me whatever you want to tell me in the comments. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and I will talk to you in the comments. Bye!